say hi. Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Megan. And to start off this amazing, one-of-a-kind book review, I think it's important to note the color purple that I'm wearing and ceremonial of what book we're going to be reviewing. I was so very lucky to be asked by Raine Miller to be a part of her blog tour for the Rare and Precious Things coming out this Friday. That's right, it's this Friday, so go ahead. Make sure you've done your pre-order, which you can click here to go do, or you can click here. And make sure you've pre-ordered it because, y'all, it's so good. So you all remember my little like tweeting bonanza I went through and kind of stalked a little bit Raine Miller, and she was so kind and receptive to me, and she asked me if I would like a first copy of the book to read and review before it even dropped stores. And it was not that hard of a question. I was like, not yet, but like hell yeah. Like yes, 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 yes. Give me the book, please. So I'm so excited to bring you the next step in Ethan and Bryn's story in the Blackstone Affair series, and with the final book, because it may be time for us to say goodbye to Ethan and his story, but not in our hearts, only in our hands. This week we're going to be going over Rare and Precious Things, which come out this Friday, February 28th. Okay, so before we start, if you have not picked up the Blackstone Affair series and read, please stop, don't watch this video, click over here or over here, whichever side it's on, and make sure you watch my video for the very first few books, which includes Naked, All In, Eyes Wide Open, Cherry Girl, and now we're at Rare and Precious Things. So when we start the book, we are in this beautiful love story, and they're just hugging and loving on one another, and everything's going great for the couple. Reading the first 100 pages, there wasn't a lot of drama. There's not someone chasing her, and she's not being brilliant by checking into Facebook and tagging people. There's none of that going on. The first 100 pages are just really Bryn and Ethan finally being this couple that they've been fighting so hard to be. They've really put everything all in. If you're reading the first 100 pages, don't think, oh, this is not have any action, because after the first like 108, it gets really good. In fact, I almost start to have a heart attack because Bryn has someone come back into her life, and you're like, son of a bitch, he is not coming back to mess with my girl right now, because I will shoot somebody. Like, I'm not above shooting a fictional character, because you can't go to jail for shooting a fictional character. You just think to yourself, poor Bryn having to go through this guy coming back into her life, and she has to deal with her mom wanting him to come back into her life. And so I don't want to ruin it and tell you what character comes back into her life, but she really has to take a step back and think what is not only best for her and Ethan, she's got to think about Peaches now. She's got to think about her child and what she has to do in order to protect her family. She goes from being this really timid character, and this is one of the few books that we see someone grow. She went from being not sure about herself, not being sure how she looks, how she acts, why men would like her, to being very confident. She knows that Ethan is her man. She knows that she has to protect her child, and she is willing to do things that this girl, this timid Bryn, would have never done. And I applaud Raine Miller for writing a book that way, because it's so easy for authors to so often write these characters that are women that are very voiceless, and they don't have that spine, and they don't grow. They just stay that very timid character that lets them take care of them. Now, that's not to say that Mr. Ethan is not Mr. Ethan and Mr. Sexy, because he does take care of her in more ways than just one, multiple times and on multiple occasions. But he doesn't have to hold her hand all the time. Sometimes she's okay just being herself and taking care of things. Start going through Bryn having to come in contact with this person again. We finally get a glimpse into Ethan's story. Bryn is dealing with her own demons and trying to move forward in her life. But we've been trying to figure out what's been going on with Ethan from the Special Forces in the Afghan War. And we know he's got problems, we know he has bad dreams, but we finally get the story of what happened to Ethan for those 22 days that make him who he is. And being a very patriotic person, I cried. I'm not gonna lie. I teared up listening to what Ethan had to go through. And I was Facebooking as I read this story, and I told you, I laughed, I cried. I just couldn't even handle the pain that Bryn and Ethan were going through, not together, but as separate individual people, to make this love grow stronger. Their two separate courages are going to make them a better wife and husband. The next few pages are cray. Let me tell you, shit goes down. We get a lot of Elaine and we get a lot of Neil McManus in this book, which I loved. I squealed like a little girl. I mean, every time I heard Cherry Girl or Elena or Neil, I'm just like, ah, I remember when this happened and oh my God, Neil McManus. It was a little much. Not gonna lie. This part I will tell you because it makes the story so good. There is a point when we don't know if Ethan is going to make it through the story. We don't know if he's going to be alive or dead. My heart stopped. It just stopped, and I thought I was gonna have a heart attack at the age of 27 years old. And I was like checking, and dying and reading all at the same time. Very heart-wrenching. I will tell you, you don't get to know the sex of the baby right away either. Bryn wants to be surprised, so you have to wait till the entire end of the book to figure out exactly what Peaches are having. And I am pleased to announce that they are having. Oh, I'm not allowed to say that, but he's just having a. Oh, I really? Okay, well, I can't tell you. You heard it yourself. There is absolutely no way I'm telling that like I would ruin the story for you. You're gonna have to read to the very, very end to figure out what Peaches is for your own. I can tell you is that Raine Miller has done it again. This story is captivating from start to finish. I didn't put it down. I finished it in one afternoon. I dared anyone to try to interrupt my reading time. It was a wonderful book. It's saddening to think that this is the end of Ethan and Bryn's story, but it is one of the endings where you can't mess it up. So often books continue and it shouldn't have, and it ends up ruining the story and the love story you've built in your head, and it becomes too much, and this is stopping at the perfect point. However, we can steep in really good thoughts because we have more Cherry Girl coming our way. I think I have to say goodbye to Ethan, but saying hello to more Neil and Cherry Girl. Thank you, Miss Raine Miller, for sending me such an early copy, and I'm so excited for all of you to get a chance to read this. Make sure you're following me on Facebook and on Twitter, Instagram, Goodreads, and subscribe to me on YouTube channel. Marilyn and I love to do book reviews, but sometimes we don't get around to it every week, but we do try to get it to it quite often. This one keeps me pretty busy. So make sure you're following me and doing all that fun stuff and keeping up with all the books that I'm going to be reading and what is coming up next. Again, thank y'all for joining me on MissFaulk.com for Miss Raine Miller's blog tour for Rare and Precious Things. Until next time, laters, baby.